Good afternoon. Plans for a new tax break for landlords have been put on hold after strong opposition from left-wing parties, exposing fresh tensions inside the governing bloc over how to tackle the country's housing crisis. The proposed measure, which aimed to encourage more rental supply through fiscal incentives, has now been parked after coalition partners and parliamentary allies signalled they would not support it in its current form. The initiative would have offered tax incentives to landlords who rent out properties, part of a broader attempt to increase housing supply and ease pressure on tenants. However, several left-wing allies argued that the measure risked benefiting property owners without guaranteeing lower rents or improved access to housing. Without sufficient parliamentary backing, the government has chosen to suspend the proposal rather than push it forward. The housing market remains one of the most politically sensitive issues facing the government. Rising rents, limited supply and regional disparities have fueled debate over how to balance tenant protections with incentives for landlords. The country is set to experience elevated pollen concentrations after persistent rainfall these past few months, so health and meteorological experts say. The combination of plentiful moisture and rising temperatures will create ideal conditions for vegetation growth, leading many plants to produce larger amounts of pollen than in recent years. In regions such as the south and centre of the peninsula, abundant water reserves have meant that many grasses, weeds and tree species are expected to flower in larger numbers, and experts warn that this season may be particularly intense compared to recent years. And the European Union harmonised 12-month inflation rate fell to 2.4% in January, down from 3% in the period through December, so final data released by the National Statistics Institute showed this morning. The final data was slightly below the 2.5% forecast. Core inflation, which strips out volatile fresh food and energy prices, stood at 2.6% in the 12 months through January, unchanged from the period through December, so the INE said. National consumer prices also rose 2.3%, down from a 2.9% increase in the period through December. It was the largest year-on-year drop in inflation since March 2025. It was mainly due to energy costs, so the Economy Ministry said in a statement. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.